Hi there, I'm Christopher Dunnigan. This is HandmadeInVermont.com, and today we're talking about the Hubbardton Forge Banded Extra Large Indoor-Outdoor Wall Sconce. This is going to be the 35899. So this is designed to be in extreme rugged conditions like mountaintops, oceanfront, places like that where it's going to get a lot of weather thrown at it. But it's beautiful enough that you can use this inside and people would never even know that it's an exterior sconce. I can totally see this flanking a fireplace in a very rustic alpine ski house. You can totally get it because the size of the fixture is nice and the volume is good and it can take up that space, but it can provide a beautiful warm light. So there you go. Let's get into the size of the fixture itself, and it's going to be 25.9. You could almost call it 26. Width on it is coming in at 9.9. You could almost call it 10. And then projection coming out from the wall is 8.3. So the mounting height, that's the distance from the bottom of the fixture to the middle of your junction box. This is what you guys have on your wall, a 4-inch J box. That's coming in at 12.9. Backplate on this, 9.9 by 25.9. So that's basically a center mount. A good way to show you more information about that is to take a look at the installations instructions now. So if you're on the page for this on Handmade in Vermont, look over on that side of the screen. Midway down, you're going to see a link. It's going to say click here for installations instructions PDF. Open that up for me. It's going to show you a full parts list, which is very simple. It's going to show you there's a mounting bracket that's going to go on your 4-inch junction box, and it's going to show you a lot of good line drawings of the inside of this and how it all works. So take advantage of those if you can. It's going to be using 2 pieces of Hubbardton Forge's glass. Hubbardton Forge does this opal glass, which is basically a matte, milky white glass, and it's opaque, so you're not going to be able to see this inside of it. And I'll talk more about opal glass later in the video. And then on top of that is going to be this what's called seeded glass, and seeded glass is really pretty. It's a clear glass. It has little air bubbles coming up like a champagne. The air bubbles in champagne, so it's pretty cool. It's also closed on top, so it's not going to get any rain on it. Hubbardton Forge's glass is very substantial. It is very substantial. It's very thick, and we like that. It's also beautiful too, so you can see how these kind of work together. So you're going to have this inner diffuser inside of this bubbly glass. So a lot of people love this glass on its own. So and it makes a big difference about the type of glass on the inside and the size of the glass on the inside, because it's going to dictate something like this. And just as an FYI, these 2 pieces of glass are actually off of the medium version of this sconce, because that is the one we have on display in our showroom. The glass for this fixture, much taller. Actually, the glass for this fixture is 21.14, and the glass for that is coming in at 16.5, so it can accommodate a much larger bulb that we're going to talk about in just a second, right now actually. So when you look at the installations instructions, you'll see the setup is going to be a medium base screw-in socket. That's the standard socket that you're going to be getting with this. If you're in the sunny state of California and you are pulling permits for new construction or renovation, and the guy's going to come out and talk to you about what you're doing, he may or she may want this. And this is actually a different kind of socket. It's a GU24. It only accepts LEDs. This will accept regular screw-in LEDs. This will accept GU24 LEDs that have the prongs on the bottom. And some California towns and cities make you do this. So if you're in that situation, email me and I can tell you about custom options on that. But for everybody else who's just going to be buying the sconces and installing them, this is what you're going to be getting. The Hubbardton Forge catalog basically recommends a type B bulb because it has to be able to get into that glass. We know that inner glass is 16.5 inches tall. The diameter is 2.44, so it can't get a big bulb into it. This is the bulb they recommend, but I think you can do better than this actually. So if you want to stick with an incandescent bulb like this, a torpedo, it's 60 watt max, but I wouldn't necessarily go there. I would go here. And this is going to be an LED this is a T6, but these are going to come longer too. So this is a bulb that can go into an exit sign, and you see these everywhere, and every hardware store sells them because exit signs are everywhere. And it will go beautifully into that glass, plus it'll pull the filament, pull the light source higher up into the glass so you don't have a hot spot on the bottom. So just remember that. This bulb, this is only a T6, so I can get this in the 60 watt equivalent easy, and I might be able to get it a little better than that. But there's also, on top of this, there's longer versions of this bulb, T8 and a T10. I was on Amazon and I happened to see the T10 at a 100 watt equivalent, which would be awesome for this. And it was dimmable and it was the color temperature I liked. So that's part of the reason I go to Amazon, just because they have a very good selection. You can generally find these bulbs in all the hardware stores. You can find them at Home Depot or Lowe's, Walmart, that kind of thing. But online is pretty good for that. So just always remember, the bulbs are there if you need them, and the light source is there if you need them. That's going to be pretty important, like I said. These bulbs are going to be offered to you in different types. They're going to be offered to you in 2700 Kelvin. That's a super yellow. If you're using this inside and you're using it in a dining room or a living room, you might want to go for 2700 Kelvin, because you'll be able to dim it down to be like candlelight. That would be the same thing said if you were going to use this on like a screened-in porch, back patio, around your pool. You might want to get it a little bit more on the romantic side. And on top of that, you could go with the other extreme if you really wanted to, but I don't think you should either on that. And that's going to be called daylight. And daylight is 4,000, 5,000 Kelvin on that Kelvin scale. That looks like an overcast day or the light coming out of a convenience store. So that's that bluish white light. What we like to use in our showroom is warm white, a soft white. That's 3,000 Kelvin. That's the light coming down from these LEDs onto this table, 3,000 Kelvin. So that's what I would probably recommend. If you're going to be using these outside on the front of your house, like your front door, maybe or on the garage, that kind of thing, just go for 3,000 Kelvin. Kind of try to get, I would probably try to get a pretty bright bulb. I might go for that 100 watt equivalent T10 that I found on Amazon. But if you're going to be using these in other places, you don't have to go with the dimmable version. Well, dimmable you don't need on those places I just mentioned, like a garage or the front door. No one dims those bulbs. But the other ones I talked about before, like the porch and the deck and around the pool, you can always put a dimmer switch on the inside switch, and then you can dim it down to get it just like candlelight, like I said. I want to touch base on Hubbardton Forge's opal glass for just a second. So all of Hubbardton Forge's glass to begin with is going to be hand blown. This piece is hand blown first in clear, then they're going to come in and they're going to blow another layer of white glass on the inside of this. The third step is they're going to take and they're going to sandblast the whole thing on the inside and the outside. That's going to give you this beautiful, mellow, translucent, milky piece of glass. When you look at this, and you can see the layers are actually piled up on the inside of this. Hubbardton Forge is very obsessed about details on all of their pieces, including their glass, and that's why you're here, because you're probably just as obsessed about little details as well. Hubbardton Forge only uses aircraft-grade aluminum to make their outdoor fixtures. Aluminum holds up the best in incredibly harsh environments. When you're out and you look up in the sky and you see all those jet airliners running around up there, those are all made out of aluminum for a reason. And part of that reason is it holds up great, like I said. It also forges beautifully. It holds finish beautifully. It doesn't rust. Remember that. It's very important. And they're virtually indestructible when they're all finished. So how Hubbardton does it is they take the fixture itself, they're going to wire it up at the top, they're going to put a wire at the bottom, they're going to send a current of electricity that's going to go through this fixture, making it positive, and they put it into a spray booth with a picture of the woman next to me. You can see she's spraying finish around it, and because it's positive, it's going to adhere to every nook, every cranny, the top, the bottom, the whole thing. After that, they're going to take this and they're going to move it into an oven. That oven is going to melt all of that down and create a very hard shell. So it makes it, again, virtually indestructible. So they've also tested these things in these wind chambers. So they take the fixture, all covered in that epoxy powder coat. It's going to go into that chamber. They're going to shoot salty seawater at it at high velocity for hours and hours and hours, just like you were at the beach and you have like a hurricane coming in, which to me is going to be pretty much the worst environment you're going to run into. So after they tested these and found out that they hold up incredibly well, Hubbardton Forge offers basically the best warranty in the lighting industry. And you can see that on the page for this. So if you scroll down a little bit, there's a link, and click on that and it'll show you the entire warranty and how it all works. Okay, showroom. Our showroom in Vermont has over 400 Hubbardton Forge fixtures. This is the biggest showroom in the world at Hubbardton Forge. No other showroom is like this. Hubbardton Forge doesn't even have their own showroom. They use this one. What's on display? We have a great tab on that. And those same red tabs, you're going to see a What's on Display page. So open that up. It's going to show you everything we have on display, and including which finish, which shade, all of those things, and what kind of glass it's on there. We're open every day except Sunday, 11 to 6. I'm here every day except Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We also have an amazing clearance center. Clearance center stuff is 75% off MSRP. It's returns, discontinued stuff, showroom samples. You have to come here to use it. Can't call us or email us about it, but it's definitely worth coming in to look at if you're in Vermont. Plus you want to use the showroom anyway because there's just so much great stuff here to see. Our number in Vermont, 802-446-2400. You can email us 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Love to answer emails, and it's sales@HandmadeInVermont.com. So when you order from HandmadeInVermont.com, shipping is going to be free to every state except Alaska and Hawaii. No tax if we ship out of the state of Vermont. And we're the only dealer with 90-day returns, no restocking fee. Nobody else does that. Some larger items are going to be non-returnable. It's going to be really important that you are looking at the fixture on that page and kind of scroll down under the description. It'll tell you if that is the case. And that's usually for really big, giant, huge fixtures, mostly that go out on pallets. Okay, that's it. Rush program. Let's talk about that. So rush program, Hubbardton Forge generally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to go out the door. That's production time before your transit time. You always have to add that on too. We offer a rush program that takes you from that 3 to 4 weeks down to a little under 2 weeks. It's a very small addition per line item. So if you have like 1, 2, 3 items, like let's say 3 or 4 outdoor sconces, and they're all the same size and they're all the same finish, that's one line item. So it's very inexpensive to rush those kind of things. Don't be afraid to email us and ask about that. Okay, so that's really it. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. We would love to see you in our showroom sometime. And thanks for stopping in.